What's happening, everybody? Today we're going to get into how to replace your Q screen in a Cadillac CTS. If you're watching this, you might have seen some of our other videos where we did one on an Escalade. We also have the SRX done. If you have a CTS and need your radio replaced, we're going to help you knock that out with step-by-step instructions, all the way from breaking down the dash, getting the radio out, to actually replacing the screen. So I really hope this can help you out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, it really means a lot if you take a second, subscribe down below, as we try to help out with different DIY projects for guys and girls like yourself. So thank you again so much for watching. Let's get to it. So step one, we got to pop off this speaker grill on the dashboard over here. You want to start from the right side and pry up. And what we're going to do is, once we get these up, there are slots that we have to pull it straight back to us. So we can send you, if you happen to order your Q screen from us, which we do have these available, we will send you some plastic tools which are very safe for your interior dash and will help you get these up and out. For this particular one, we do recommend a straight. Seems to be the easiest one. And you kind of want to start from the side and then go up and around. And as you continue to go up, it will keep coming up. And once you get it popped up like that, what we're going to do is pull it straight forward to you. All right, yeah, so if it gets kind of stuck, you want to just give it a little tug. But you want to just pull it straight forward, and you can see these snaps all right here. And right here is, if you have the upgraded speaker system, you just can snap this out. This actually can turn, you can turn this and pull it straight down and actually leave that plugged in if you want. But that's it right there. You can see you want to pry up. And then these are into the dash, so you just pull it straight out like that. Now, the next part is going to be this piece right here. And this part is a little bit trickier, because what we have is, we have some screw holes, which are right here. I'm actually going to film this from the outside, which will be a little bit better to see. But we've actually already removed this screws, so you can see you're going to have to access these screws right there. 5 total screws that we're going to have to take out. Then you're going to basically pry up on this, and this should come right out. So let's get to that. Definitely recommend, for removing those screws, a small ratchet, because of the windshield. So a small ratchet will allow you to get in there much easier than if you did not have this. So 7mm, and you can just set this down to the side. So this once again just goes in and twists out. I'll show you that when we're putting that back in. So now that we've already got our screws out, we want to, same thing, so you just get under here with your straight one, and you'll start propping it up, and you'll hear the snaps come. And then once you get your snaps out, they have 2 that go in just like the grill that you want to pull. Give it a little tug and pull it out to you. Now there is one plug right here that we have to take out, and that is for your speaker. And you can see this one right here. Let me get this out. So once you get that grill out, so your clips are all in the front right there. That's where your clips are at. And once we pop that out, then what we want to do is pull this one, and this one right here are into the front. So you pull it straight out to you, and then you have to remove the speaker clip right there. So the speaker clip is going to be right here, and you just need your finger to get behind that and just push that in and just pull it straight out to you. So now that we have that off, okay, you're going to have two bolts right here, also 7 millimeters, that you're going to need to remove. Okay, once we remove those bolts, which we've already done for you, so right here and right here, so you can see. All right, actually once you get these two bolts out, we're going to remove this chrome piece, and the best way is probably to start at the bottom. Yeah, so if you can get your pry tool behind this on the bottom, you can get your fingers to get a little leverage. And then once you get a little leverage, you can actually apply a little bit of pressure, not too much, to where those snaps will start moving for you. Keep in mind, the first time you ever take out snaps, they're always the toughest. But once you actually use, I hate saying force, because my dad always had a statement, might does not make right, and he's right on that. But with snaps, you do have to give a little bit of pressure, so to speak, to get those snaps to really come out for you. And once you get it, what we're going to do is close this back, and that's going to give us, want to watch your dash too. If you want to put it in neutral, make sure you have your parking brake on, and your foot on the brake as well, but you can just start the car and move that out, and then that's going to come right out for you once you get those snaps. So let's take a look at those snaps right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 start at the bottom, and once you get that out, once you can get behind it, give yourself a little force to kind of pull up on the two spots where the clips are, and then once you get that, you always kind of want to apply the pressure as close to the clips as possible. All right, so now that we have that off, you can see that there is one little thing right here that protects this interior piece that snaps off to get down to these bolts right there. These are also going to be 7 millimeter bolts. We just want to get this to where we can. So this has two little snaps right there, which will give you access to these bottom bolts. You set that aside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to back out our radio so we can replace our cue screen right there. Actually, might have to, depend on if you want to use a ratchet for that one. If you can't get your drill, you can back this out to get to the access to that. Always try to put your bolts in a spot where you won't lose it. In this case, we're just going to put it in the cup holder. Alright, so you saw I just moved that back to get to that. Now once we have that out, literally is going to come right out. Now, This is a part where, if depending on if you have help or not, okay, what we're gonna do in this scenario is I like to put down a towel or something that can protect our dash right here if you're working by yourself, which more than likely you probably are. So I'm gonna get a towel to place over my dash to keep our dash protected. All right, so we're gonna throw this over there. That way, when our radio comes out, if we happen to slip out of our hands or for whatever reason we need to place it down, it's going to keep our dash from getting scratched up. All right, so we're going to pull this out and kind of lift up as you pull it out. Now, we are going to have some clips on the both sides before we can get to the back. And on this side, there is going to be a spot on the side, which you may want to use a small flathead screwdriver if you do have it. So if you have a small flathead screwdriver, to kind of press in on the spot of the clips if your hands are too big. I find this comes in handy on almost all of these plug-in type deals. See this one right here. See that? See how tiny that is? So you really just need to press down like that on that one. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just push it down and pull out. Okay, once we have that, then you can gain access to the back. See if I can turn it this way to kind of give you, so now that we're looking down, you can see the same thing. So if you can't get your thumb in there, you can use your little tool like this to get those off. This one's way in there. So you saw how easy that was right there. Boom. Pop that out. And you don't have to worry about labeling these. You know, I always recommend labeling just so you know where it goes, but most of the time they make these to where they can only plug into one spot, so they're not going to put the same type of plug in multiple spots, so you never get confused, which is a good thing. Now this one is a little bit trickier right here. Boom. And that's actually a USB cable right there. I'll show you that last one. You want to move this tab up and down just to release that USB cable out of there. So that basically plugs in, so that's just holding it in there. It's really not a plug, it's just a spot to hold it in, so when you need to plug in your USB. That's it. That's the removal of the radio. Now we can get to knocking this out and making it happen. Alright, now we got the radio out. You're going to want to remove these 6 black screws first. Okay, once you get the 6 screws out, you'll be able to slide these side mounts right off. Alright, once you get those screws off, the goal will be now to take this back plate off. And basically to do that, you're just going to remove all these small screws. Forget how many total, but you'll see them all the way on the back. There is 2 right over here on each side, which you'll have to take off. And once you get those off, you'll basically be able to pull the back plate right off to get access to it. Now that the back's off, you can access these 2 screws right here. And this little plug, which you need to just basically pull out with a little screwdriver just like that. And then you're good to go. Now you just want to turn the unit on its side now and just loosen these screws on each side. Don't unscrew them all the way. Next up, remove these 5 screws right here. So now that you have those screws off, you have these 2 tabs that are holding this other protective piece on. Once you get those tabs down, you're just going to pull that right off just like that. Next up is removing this screen ribbon that I'm pointing at right here. The way you do this is you have to basically move this little tab upwards and then take some tweezers like this and just delicately pull the ribbon straight out of the connector, just like that. and then remove this screw right there. The reason you didn't unscrew those other screws earlier all the way is so you can flip up the door, and the way you do that is just pull on it with a little might. It won't break it. Now you're just going to want to unscrew these 4 screws right here. Now you're going to want to get your screen ready to go, so that way once we take out these next few screws, you'll have it right there ready to be put on. Alright, we're getting down to the wire. We just have literally 4 screws left to undo to get this screen off. So they got the one in the top, right here on the bottom, and then on the opposite side. And once those are off, the screen should come right off. You're just going to pull it out and watch the little ribbon, and boom, you're done. Now the ribbon at the bottom of the screen's the one that you had to delicately take off earlier. So we're going to show you when you go to put it back on where you have to slide it through and then slide it back in just to make sure it's good to go. But you can see right here we're going to flip it back over and we're going to get it ready to go. So right here is where you want to put that ribbon. When you're putting the new screen back on, you slide it right through that hole. And then once you get it on there, you just tighten back up the screen and redo everything in reverse order the same way you took it off, and it should work like a charm. And I'll show you once we get right here where we're putting the ribbon back in. You want to grab your tweezers again and then just make sure you delicately push it in and then pull that tab back down on it. So good luck. Looks brand new. Now we just need to make sure it works. So once you get everything put back in, of course, before you put it all back together, you're going to want to test it out, which I already did. But you can see right here, got the screen back in, got it hooked back up, and everything works like a charm. So good luck with everything. If you have any questions, just please leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to hit you back. Good luck.